L'chaim. Shus Gemara the Asra. Shkoyach for the plug. Rabbi Katz. He said many good things, but one very terrible thing. And he said that it's an easy thing. That's the worst thing that he could have told me. That's the last thing that I want to hear. It's the last thing that I wanted Rabbi Rosenfeld to hear. And you are Dr. Tressman's Bechutin? Yes. I'll send regards. It is my, I want to tell you, it's a big difference sitting next to Rabbi Rosenfeld, and Rabbi Rosenfeld just whips out a speech. I'm sure it's a dime a dozen, and he doesn't have to come with papers or anything. He does this every day, every week in shul. But for me, it's difficult. With all the classes I give, but a speech is not what I do. You want me to basa b'chalav taruvas? I'll sit down and do basa b'chalav taruvas. But a speech is not there. I have to sit down in the cramp, the planes that come to Pittsburgh. For a big guy like me, it's like this. I'm sitting in one of those planes. So, and I need two of those from Minnesota to here. I have to go through two of those small little planes. Anyways, let's begin. There's two little flights flying from Minnesota here. It's really worthwhile to spend some time to show honor and respect. As the Rebbe would always quote from the Rambam, Takot and Kagodo. We have, Baruch Hashem, a youngster, and we have what we would call maybe a senior, maybe not a senior in age, definitely not, but we have, in comparison to yosef we have Takot and Kagodo, but they definitely deserve respect and honor for what they did. Now, what came to my mind when I thought about this schlep was the famous Gemara in Shabbos. Yesterday was Taka Shabbos, and we know that on Sunday the Yidden traveled from Shabbos, from Refidim, they came to Har Sinai. Yet Hashem was kind enough. Hashem said, "Woo, you guys traveled from Refidim to Har Sinai. Settle down." Today I'm not going to tell you anything. Settle down. Because you're traveling and you're weak. Settle down. Tomorrow I'll get you going for Har Sinai. I'll get you going for Matan Torah. And the Rebbe in the Smicha asks, the Yidden are counting and are anxiously waiting for this Matan Torah, and they finally come to Har Sinai. What does this mean? And they got there, and the Eibishter says, slow down, settle down, rest. They made it there. They want to hear what's this all about. And the Rebbe explains that what is the settling down all about? The settling down all about is they're about to get a culture shock. The change of the total makeover in their way of life is going to be totally new. So for that, they have to, you're coming from the Midbar, and you're coming from Yetzias Mitzrayim, you're going to get the Torah, and the way of life of Torah is completely new. You can't have it cold turkey. You got to do it slowly. So Hashem says, that's what Chulsha D'Urcha means. It's not the traveling. Yesterday was a day of rest. Yesterday was Shabbos. And Shabbos, the Yidden were Mekabel already in Mara. They already kept Shabbos. So they didn't even work that hard. But because of the culture shock, Hashem says, let's do it slowly. I don't think I have that culture shock today, speaking about Rabbi Elliot and Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak. So I could talk. Why don't I have the culture shock? Because I got to know them now over, I think it's close to 3 years now.
2 years.
3 years. And I saw a commitment for these chevra that impressed me a lot. Now I'll tell you, I've been told that in this shul, in the yeshiva shul, you have Baruch Hashem a mixture of Lubavitcher people and some non-Lubavitcher, which is a phenomenal thing. You have all different schos. I don't know if you ever paid attention in the hakafis. After you do the hakafis, you sing Sisa v'simchu b'simchas Torah. And there is one word that the Alter Rebbe in his nusach, that the Alter Rebbe adds that is not in any other nusach. we sing Sisu v'simchu b'simchas Torah, that being full of joy with the joy of Torah. What do we always say? Kihi lanu. Everybody think Avram Fried has a song. Ois v'ira. Because this is our might and light. I don't think anybody looked in the Siddur. In the Alter Rebbe Siddur, there's one more word. Kihi lanu chayim ois v'ira. The Alter Rebbe adds that the Torah is our life. It's not only ois, our might. It's not only our light, oira. It is our metzius. It is what we are all about. It is our chayim, our life. That is what we are all about. They say a story about a young Rav who was just elected to become a Rav of a new city. So they showed him around the community, they showed him the stores, and they also showed him the cemetery. So he went around to the matzevas. He found something very, very strange. Everybody on the matzeva, he looks at all the matzevas, Nebuch, people are all dying very, very young. This one's 20 years, 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. He turns around and he says, the people who are showing him around, Baruch Hashem, with white long beards. He says, what's going on? Was there ever a plague in this community? Why is it that everybody in the cemetery, the matzevas, have very young age? So he says, the Chevra Kadisha here have a strange custom. Maybe it's not. They have a custom. Their custom is that when a person passes away and they want to write the age on the matzeva, they write that they see how old the person was. The person passed away when he was 80. So they say to themselves, okay, let's see. At what age did he start doing mitzvahs? At 13. Okay, so the first 13 years don't count. And then, which school did he go to? He went to a good school? Okay, so that if he didn't go to a good school, he's just started going to yeshiva when he was 19, so let's cut out the first 19 years. So when they basically cut down his chayim, his life of Torah, they had a real rigid community, so that they put the number on the matzeva about the chayim of Torah. Whatever the person's chayim of Torah was, that's the number they put in the matzeva. Let me tell you, in this week's parsha, we have Vavram Zoking Baba Yomim. We have the famous pasuk that Avram Avinu comes along and says, it's next week's parsha, Baba Yomim, that every day is full. Every single day of a Yid's life has to be full with Torah. One of the first things, I don't know if they remember, I asked when people called for an interview, I asked them to read a din in Shulchan Aruch. And the Shulchan Aruch halacha I asked them to read is in Orach Chaim Siman Kuf Nun Hey. When Shulchan Aruch says you have to make a kviyus itim l'Torah. And I make them read that, see how they read the Mechaber, see how they read the Ramah, see if they know how to read Rashi letters, see if they know who Mechaber is, who Ramah is, who Magen, just to get to know, people think it's crackerjack Smicha. You got to print out, all these, just to get to know what's going on. So I say, what does the Shulchan Aruch mean? Why do you need to have a kviyus, a set time of learning? Why can't you just say, I commit to learn every day, but whenever I have, sometimes it's going to be 9 o'clock, sometimes it's going to be 11 o'clock. Why does it have to be a set time every day? And everybody shoots from the hip, and everybody gives their own reason. But once I read a beautiful, beautiful explanation. We have a problem. The problem is, the Torah says, there is a pasuk, v'hagisa bo yoyman v'layla. We have to study Torah day and night. Now, we got to make a living. So how do these two things work together? You got to make a living, you got to study Torah day and night. So because of that, the Rambam says, and Alter Rebbe brings in Shulchan Aruch, that if you do a perik echad arvis, a perik echad shachris, if you learn one perik at night and one perik at day, the night perik covers the night learning, the day perik covers the day learning. Come on. Come on. Who are you fooling? That's not day and night. Is $1,000 $1 million? Try to tell that to the banker. 1,000. I covered my bill. I didn't. So perhaps the fixed time does it. Because if you have 9 o'clock fixed and you have to make a schedule of the day, the doctor is not going to be 9 o'clock. The shopping is not going to be 9 o'clock. The school, the whole day schedule is not going to be at 9 o'clock. So even though it's 1 hour of the day, that 1 hour of the day governs the whole day. The 1 hour of the night is the night. So what kind of life of a Yid is it? We would love to live on an island and learn Torah. But that's not the island, that's not the life Hashem put us into. Hashem put us into a life that we have to live and produce with the physical stuff. That's what the Meraglim wanted. The Meraglim wanted to go into Eretz Yisrael and leave in the Midbar and live with the man. But Hashem wants us to do things, to work. But remember what's in charge. Remember what's governing the world. That 1 hour is in charge. The Baba Yamim. This thought you see in today's chitas. How long am I going? I have to start talking about you, no? And today's chitas.
That's why we're here.
Oh, the game. Rabbi Rosenfeld's about the game starts. Today's chitas. The guests come. Rabbi Rosenfeld mentioned the mitzvah b'chnasis archim. The guests come. Avraham Avinu thinks they're guests, and they come, and Avraham Avinu serves them. What does he serve them? He said, the pasuk says, he gives them mayim. He gives them a little water. That's the first thing he gives them. So Rashi says, why does he give them water? So Rashi says, Kisaver, he thought they were Arabs, and he thought they served the dust in the feet, so he wanted to make sure they wash off their avodah zarah before they enter his house. That's the common interpretation, common pshat. Look in the Klei Yakar. Klei Yakar says a chassidish pshat. He says, come on. That's pshat. Pshat is he wanted to get rid of the avodah zarah. If so, you shouldn't let your son into your house. Some people worship the sun. That's what he wanted to do. Says the Klei Yakar, Avraham Avinu saw people that were lacking emunah in Hashem. He saw people that weren't on the right derech. So he says to them, here, let me give you mayim. Let me give you a little of mayim. Mayim is Torah. Let me give you a little of water. Let me put you on the right derech. And I don't. If you learn, I'm sure in a community like this, you learn Chassidus. The Rebbe in the earlier years was right. In Chassidus, you don't need a lot. You go to a doctor. I understand that some of you guys here are doctors. You go to a doctor. They don't give you, if you're sick, take a gallon of medicine. They give you a little medicine, a teaspoon. Ma'at mayim, and just take a little, and start the changeover, start the makeover. This is what Avraham Avinu tells them. You guys have to change. Ma'at mayim. V'hishadu tachas ha'etz. What eitz is he talking about? Lean on the tree. What tree? The Ilana the Chaya. The tree of life. What tree of life? Eitz Chayim Hila Machazikim, the tree of Torah. It's all the same theme. It's all the same thing. You want to go to another parsha? Go back last week. Last week, Avraham Avinu says to Melech Sdoim. Melech Sdoim says, "Give me back the people, and I'll keep the money." So Avraham Avinu says, "Nah. I'm not going to keep any money. I swore. I raised my hand to Hashem. Im michut v'atzroich now. I won't keep a thread. I won't keep a shoestring. Nothing. I'm not keeping any of it." Says the Gemara in Smicha, because Avraham Avinu said those words, the Yidden were merited to 2 great mitzvahs. Which 2 mitzvahs? The mitzvah of who? Ask him. When I speak, no one answers me on the computer. I mute everybody. When you speak, people speak in shul. They speak in shul, chutzpah.
Give me a list.
Rabbi Rosenfeld, I should come to the show.
You're always welcome.
You're not allowed to speak when the Rav speaks. The Rav speaks, you're not allowed to speak. Now, so the Gemara says that B'schus from Avram Avinu saying that the Yidden was zoichev the two mitzvahs, the mitzvah of tchelas of tzitzis, and the mitzvah of tefillin. What? Okay, I'm not going to speak about why, because of that. I'm going to speak about what's unique about those two mitzvahs. They're both tied, but they're different tying. The tzitzis is a kesher shel kayama. You tie the tzitzis once, hopefully it's there forever. It's tied. It's a knot that you do, and it's tied forever. You know, the tefillin. You have a mitzvah that you have a mitzvah to tie every single day. You tie the tefillin. By the end of the day, you're supposed to open it up a little, because tomorrow you have to retie it again. There's a chiyuv every day to do a what does that show you? There is the commitment that you didn't have to Torah. I'm a Jew. This is who I am. That's the tchelas. And shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid. Stand on your head and spit in wooden nickels. I am Jewish. This is Kiheim Chayenu V'Oirech Yameinu. But on top of that, every day I have to recommit. I have to do the extra. Rabbi said, I'm screaming. Bottom line is, I'm here to give chizuk. I don't toot my own horn. I'm tooting these two gentlemen. I know them for 3 years. He's extremely humble. I don't think I ever heard him ask me a question in 3 years. I had to scream at Yossi, you understand? But he would type questions, which is very good. He would say something. He doesn't look like a shy. He's not a shy person. But kol hakavod. What's the word I want to use?
We're not going to help you. We're scared.
For you, what I want to tell everybody else is, you Baruch Hashem in a community that's striving in Torah. There is no reason that a person should not have 1 shiur, 2 shiurim in anything. Now, come on. Nobody should think, I learned Chassidus. The Rebbe has Miftzah Talmud Torah. The same Rebbe that tells you to go put on tefillin with people every day. We all run to tanks. The same Rebbe says Miftzah Talmud Torah. Miftzah Talmud Torah is to learn. Learn with yourself, learn with your kid. You know what it says now, Yom? And now Yom, maybe Rabbi Rosenfeld can help me out, because this is something that bugs me for years. When the Rebbe wants to say in our Yom, how much you have to learn, or what the definition of learning, the Rebbe couldn't find a better example. And the Rebbe says, just like a ganiv, a thief, doesn't mean somebody who knows how to steal. You call a ganiv somebody who steals. Somebody who knows how to steal is not a ganiv yet. He's a smart man, but he didn't do it. So a lamdin is not somebody who knows how to learn. A lamdin is somebody who learns. You can't call somebody a lamdin when he knows how to learn. He has to learn to be a lamdin. There is no what ifs. And when we he's much older than me. In the yeshiva, we used to say, "Terutzim v'stazodim for the baba." Excuses you say to your grandmother. There's no what if. Right now, you have places to learn. He mentioned there's so many things online. Chabad has things online. Other organizations have things online. Locally, you have things online. Kihein chayenu ve'oirech yameinu. This is who we are, what we are, forever and ever. I want to